My name is Deanna, and this is my story. When I was 17, I was diagnosed with clinical depression. But to really understand where it started, we need to go back a few years. I was a shy, quiet kid, a middle child. Nobody noticed me in school, and nothing set me apart at home. I was basically a nobody. Until I started to run, and to win almost every single race I entered. Then people started to notice me. It got to the point where my sense of identity and self-worth was completely tied up in my ability to win races. As long as I kept winning, I could keep my feelings of inadequacy and worthlessness at bay. But when I started running for university, I wasn't the fastest anymore. I kept getting injured, and I had no support system. Everything spiraled out of control. It got to the point where it was almost too much effort for me to even get out of bed. Going to track practices or my classes was completely out of the question. I slept weird hours, hardly ate, and burst into tears over nothing. It got so bad that I would wander the streets hoping and praying that a car would hit me just to put me out of this misery. And then one day, I don't know if I was having a better day or something, but I called up my parents and I told them that I couldn't do it anymore, that I had to come home. It was one of the hardest phone calls I ever made, because it felt like I was admitting that I was a failure and not strong enough to succeed at anything. But they came and got me, no questions asked. They gave me the space I needed to start to heal, and gentle nudges when they felt it was time for me to get my life back on track. But the thing that helped me the most with my recovery was rediscovering my love for running. I had lost that passion during my short time at university, and when I started to run again afterwards, it just wasn't the same. I wasn't as fast as I used to be. I wasn't winning any more races, and all I could think about was how far I had fallen. But then a friend suggested a Tough Mudder, and I thought it sounded kind of fun. So I went, not knowing what I was getting myself into, and terrified of trying something new. But as soon as I started running that course, it was like a switch flipped in my head, and running was fun again. There was no pressure and no one to compete against. Simply strangers lending a helping hand and an encouraging word throughout the whole course. I felt fast, free, and confident again for the first time in forever. And I've managed to hold on to that love of running ever since that day. The trails grant me a clarity and a peace of mind that I can't find anywhere else. They almost never fail to lift my spirits or help me work through whatever may be troubling me. Running, or simply being out in nature, makes me feel confident, powerful, happy. It's how I cope, and it's how I stay sane. I'm a work in progress, but I no longer base my self-worth on the amount of races I've won or accolades I've received. I've learned that it's okay to be vulnerable and let other people know that you're struggling, that true friends are always there when you need someone to lean on. My life is so much richer and more full than I could ever have imagined, simply because I've started to let people into it. But I think one of the most important things I've learned is that people don't think less of me when they learn about my past. They don't think that my depression makes me weak. And the more times I'm reminded of that, the more I come to believe it myself.